everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we are here for another book to film comparison video. We actually haven't done one of these in a long time, which is really sad because I really like doing them. I mean, it expands my horizons with the books and then it actually forces me to watch a movie, which Ivan enjoys because he prefers movies to books, which is so sad because books are obviously better. What do you want me to say? I don't know. But today's book to film comparison is actually going to be pretty short and sweet and simple because there's not a whole heck of a lot to say, at least with comparing the book and the movie, because I'll just explain it in a second. So, okay, let's just get straight into it, shall we? We are talking about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. Now, I watched the movie before I read the book. It's in a psych hospital, so of course Kim is gonna watch it because I love psych hospitals. It's just, I mean, now is it haunted? No. Would it have been better if it was haunted? Yes, but I get it, okay? It wasn't supposed to be a ghost story. I get it. But Ivan and I watched it 2-ish years ago, I think. And I loved the movie. I thought it was great. It stuck with me. You know, it's one of those movies that, Ivan and I actually talk about randomly. There are some of those movies that, again, they get stuck in your brain. And so you just enjoy sitting around having conversations about them, speculating about them. And that's how this movie was. So then I found this absolutely gorgeous edition. So I said, you know what? I need to read this book. So I bought it. And I started reading, and this is the perfect example of how the book is more detailed than the movie. It's the perfect example of it. You know that, I mean, and I've used this illustration before. You know that picture that has been going around social media where you've got, the castle or, something, glacier or something that's up top and it says, the movie, and then there's a water line, and then underneath is like all this like super intricate architecture, and it's like, the movie, the book. This perfect example of it. I mean, when I watched the movie, it gave the bare bones of the story. The casting was brilliant. I'm just going to say the best thing about that movie is the casting. Jack Nicholson as Randall McMurphy was friggin' brilliant. Okay? It was perfect. Nurse Ratched, the lady that they picked to play her, which I'm sorry I don't know her name, she was also perfect. She had, that calm, almost detached demeanor to her. They both won Academy Awards for that, for that film. The casting was perfect. Plus, I found out later that they actually filmed at a working psych ward in a working hospital, and the guy who played Dr. Spivey in the movie was actually the head physician. He was not an actor. He was the head physician of the psych hospital. And plus, a lot of the guys that they had as patients, playing patients, were actually patients. They weren't actors, they were actually patients. And so as I'm learning this, I'm just going, oh my gosh, why am I not an actor that was born, all the way back then to where I could have actually gone to audition for this movie? Because, oh my gosh, that sounds brilliant. And it worked. It worked so well. Like I said, that movie, it gets stuck in your brain. Then I read the book. And I'm so sorry, but the book is better than the movie in every way. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? It was really good to actually have, faces and people in my head for Randall McMurphy and Nurse Ratched. That was brilliant because, like I said, the casting was amazing. So that was not my issue. And the issue really also, it's not, oh, well, they took a book and once again, they made, they did all these changes, like the original plot wasn't good enough. That's not how this movie was. Did they change some things? Sure. And I get why they did it, okay? It's a movie. We didn't have 7 hours to sit and watch this movie and watch them get every little detail right, okay? I get it. I'm not going to sit and complain about it because I get it. But just all the details that you miss between the book and the movie, it almost changed the theme of the story. Which is weird because the fact that they were then able to still have that different theme in the movie, still be brilliant and still be, one of those brain worms that, again, it gets stuck in your brain to where you have to sit and speculate and discuss and have a great time doing that. But yet again, it just wasn't the same as in the book. And there were so many details that came out in the book. Like in the book, it was actually told the story was narrated by Chief. And Chief is insane. He may be, he fakes being deaf and dumb, but he's crazy. And so and you have to keep reminding yourself while you're reading this, because he's describing all of this really weird stuff, and you have to remind yourself, he is insane. I mean, he's one of the chronics. He's one of the ones, that they don't have any hope in releasing, and it just, there are times when he appears perfectly lucid, perfectly sane, but then there are other times where you're like, oh yeah, that's right. You're in the psych ward for a reason. Okay, I get it. And the movie, you miss that. Chief almost becomes a background character, and it lost something. And the little things, because in the book, it's all about McMurphy, coming in, shaking up this perfect system. Nurse Ratched has her ward. She runs it perfectly. Every detail is exactly the way it should be. And it's about McMurphy coming in and throwing a monkey wrench into everything and watching how Nurse Ratched responds to it, how she tries to fix it. And it's just a constant conflict between McMurphy and Nurse Ratched. And that's how it is. And obviously there are a bunch of little themes all thrown in, into it. But the little things like her smug little smiles that she gives them, those kind of details were completely lost. And so while that was the main theme and plot line in the book, in the movie, it becomes about a sane man learning to adapt to an insane environment, and the conflict between him and Nurse Ratched, while it's there, don't get me wrong, it's there. Again, it just becomes secondary, and it just, again, I love the movie. I still love the movie. Even after reading the book and then rewatching the movie, I still adore that movie. I think every medical professional, especially those who are working in the mental health system, absolutely should watch that movie. It should be required. Have you seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? No. Well, then I'm sorry you can't work in the psych ward. But it's just one of those things where, because so many details are lost from the translation, from the page to the screen, you also have to read the book. That's just how it is. Now, the standard that we do use here at Jessica's Reading Room, for if a movie is good or bad, the question is, can you watch the movie and, get away with not reading the book? And in this case, despite all the details that are lost, despite, the slight changes, despite the different theme, that comes out, I actually have to say that, yes, I do think that you can watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and still understand the basic You know what I'm saying? You know, you get the plot line. You get, again, you get the theme. It's just, the book is better. So yes, I do believe One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is good. Can you get away with watching the movie instead of reading the book? Yes. But I will say it would do, I mean, I would absolutely recommend you read the book, you watch the movie, and then you read the book. That's what I would suggest. Because a lot of the things that you then see in the movie will then be explained within the book. That's just me. You guys know that I'm always going to say you should read the book. But this is one of those cases where, again, the fact that they didn't go in and just completely slice everything apart and re-put it together the way it was not supposed to be put together, you know, bravo to those filmmakers, because the movie was great. I really liked the movie. So there you go. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey, book to film comparison. Movie was great. Movie was good, but you should also read the book. Sound good? Awesome. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this, I would love to hear about it. I would love to hear your opinions, what you thought about the book, what you thought about the movie. If you have any suggestions for book to film comparisons that you think I should look into, make sure you tell us down in the comments. Go to our website, go to our Instagram pages, our Facebook page. We would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.